as Kim said, I'm a singer-songwriter and beatboxer. And my story is probably a tiny bit different. I'm from Malta. Does anybody know? Yeah, nice, okay, that's good. So for those who don't, Malta is a really tiny island in the Mediterranean Sea. And because it's so small, it's very traditional in the sense that life is very simple over there. And you're brought up with the mentality that you just have to go through your daily life and do well at sports, do well at school, and then go to uni, get a stable job, and that's your life. But personally, I've always been a bit of a rebel, so things went a bit differently. Being from Malta, something really interesting is that our main industry is tourism. So we get to experience lots of different cultures because we get so many tourists coming in from different countries. And we get to learn a lot about different people. But because we're still on the same island, then we're still in our comfort zone. So when people come in, then they leave, and we're still on the same rock. But something that I learned was that when I got outside of the rock, everything changed. So just to give you a bit of a background about me, I used to play on the national team for basketball. So I would travel playing with my basketball team. And then I became a physiotherapist, and I went on student exchanges to Sweden, and I traveled a bit around Scandinavian countries. And suddenly, everything changed. I noticed, hey, there's a whole world out there, and everyone has a different story. When I was still studying physio, I used to get really bored sitting at a desk. And so one day I decided to try and imitate the music I heard on the radio. And that's how I discovered I could beatbox. And when somebody pointed out to me, what's that you're doing? I said, I'm just making some music with my mouth, and didn't think much of it. But then they inspired me to actually think about what I was doing, and I started to look it up on YouTube, and I discovered there's a whole beatbox community, and there's the Beatbox World Championships, and I said, I've got to get in. So I contacted them, and I met the people, and I said, can I take part? And so I went through the rounds, and eventually I got to the World Champs. And at this point, beatboxing was just a hobby. I just loved music. But my life should have been set the way it is in Maltese society. That I should have just worked a normal job, got married, had kids, blah, blah, blah. So I went to the Beatbox World Championships 2 days before my finals, and everyone thought I was absolutely crazy. But when I was there, and it was scary to go because I was the only representative from Malta, and I hadn't really traveled alone much before. But I went, and suddenly I realized, hey, I can communicate with people, and it doesn't even have to be verbally, because through beatboxing, you can communicate through beats, through music. So if I want to say I'm angry, I can create a really aggressive beat with my mouth. If I want to say I'm feeling chilled, then I can just create a really mellow beat. And I suddenly realized that everybody from each country had their own style of beatboxing. So someone from America, for example, would be more influenced by hip-hop, but somebody from Africa would do more like tongue clicks and stuff like that. And I just suddenly realized, hey, I've just lived my whole life up to that point thinking that the way things were around me was the way things were everywhere. But suddenly I realized there's so much more, and it was a huge eye-opener for me. So I think it was that instant where I decided to pack my bags, quit my stable job, do the opposite of what everybody was telling me to do back home, and I moved to London and became a full-time musician. And I won't say it's easy because, as you can imagine, the financial difficulties are quite prominent in London. It's such an expensive place to live in. But then the musical opportunities are so great that it's all worth it. And being a beatboxer, I often experience things like sexism because females aren't expected to beatbox. It's such a male-dominated world in the beatbox scene that it's quite unusual to be a beatbox girl. But I guess it's part of the beauty of the challenge, that things are unexpected, but you still do them and you still succeed in them. So I've been in London for 3.5 years now, and I'm making a living off of music, and I've never been happier. And none of this would have been possible had I not stepped outside of my comfort zone and done something different. But despite all that, because if everyone tells you, oh, you should get out of your comfort zone, discover things, discover people, discover cultures, what I discovered most was myself. And had I not moved away from everything I knew and everything that was safe and comfortable, I would never have discovered what I love doing and why I love doing it. Music to me is the ultimate form of expression, and had I not gone to Berlin to the World Championships and met people and felt their energy and done it back, then I wouldn't have felt so inspired to create a whole new life for myself. So, in conclusion, I just want to leave you all with a little question, which is, when was the last time you stopped and noticed the sound of your own breathing? Thank you.
I think that everyone here, am I wrong, wants to hear Dana do some beatbox?
No, this one's good. Yeah. Okay, everything you're about to hear is completely live. I hope you enjoy this. Machine. Get on up, get 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 on up. And we begin. Sound of the groove, I'm out of way. They super style,